No,
All right.
no, Judge. We
Oh.
only ever talked about his potential punishment range and how he's enhanceable and how
There's a
he has an
motion.
offer for 15
This
months.
mess, he's called a lot of stuff.
But I have requested additional time last court setting to get all of this information, and he told me today that he didn't want me to stay.
Donald, say, you stay in front of the judge. There's no fun. No. When I saw people sitting down, they were going.
Okay. We've got an indictment here, 25 CR 1791, that accuses Michael Wayne Osborne, that's you?
Yes,
Correct, of the state jail felony of burglary of a building. And it also alleges that you have a fire forgery conviction out of this court in 97. And then paragraph 3 goes on to allege that after that 97 conviction of forgery was final, you committed the offense of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon and were convicted of that in Orange County, Texas. So this state jail felony then becomes punished as though it was a third or second, because they're in sequence. If you don't interrupt me, okay? That's rude, and we can't all speak at one time. Hold on, you're going to get a chance to speak. So this appears to be indicted as a state jail felony, though it's punished as a second-degree felony if found guilty. So you were looking at no less than 2, no more than 20 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. Do you understand what you're facing in this charge? Now you can speak.
I do not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, I guess I started off.
There are several things that you filed here. Let's see. You got a motion to dismiss counsel that you filed. What was the date on this? I don't see it's undated. And that Miss Minaldi has been appointed to represent you. Are you able to hire your own lawyer?
No, I filed a motion to proceed pro se and to be admonished. I also filed a motion for recusal.
I know. I just asked you a question, sir. Just, are you able to hire your own lawyer, though? I'm trying.
Proceeding pro se.
This is yes or no. This isn't a hard one to figure out, sir. Are you able to hire your own lawyer if you wanted to, though?
No.
Okay, you're because you're in jail and you don't have an income. All right, you're indigent then.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. We're going to take these one at a time. Motion to dismiss counsel here. Why do you want that? Because this lady is here to represent you. You believe you could represent yourself better? Is that what you think?
Well, I'm sure you're aware, Judge, that I've been through this before and I represented myself. I have no problem with it. It's a barrier of communication when she offset this case and didn't network with me. Then I didn't want this presiding court even to, adhere to their alleged affair. I don't want to be tried before this court, not with you presiding.
Why is that?
Well, if you don't recall, you should remember 8-9 years ago, you refused my agreement, and then you still sentenced me, and you never gave me my back time. And I don't see how we can entertain this today when I filed a motion to recuse and you still entertaining the case.
Yeah. Well,
oh no.
First of all, back time. I don't have number one. You're so wrong because back time is not in this court's discretion. It's law. If you have time credited, you have to be awarded to this. And the court has never in 20 years denied back time that is allowed by law. So that doesn't make any sense there
Okay.
on that one. Number two, you can certainly represent yourself at any time if you wish, so long as you are completely aware and appreciate that the people who represent themselves pro se generally are not successful.
Why are you
Because,
unnecessarily wasting the judicial time of this
attorneys-
court?
Or more profoundly aware of the rules of evidence, the penal code, the code of criminal procedure, and other laws that are used in the trials. Representing yourself is always a disadvantage. That's why it's a long statement. People who represent themselves have foolish people for their own clients. That was something that was part of the history of law before I was born, because there's not a lot of success at doing that. And when you're not adept at the rules of law, then you have a disadvantage. But you're an adult, you get to make your own choice. If you want to represent yourself, you just have to know that when you represent yourself, you're going to have to follow the rules of law and the evidence and the court of criminal procedure and the rules of criminal procedure and the penal code and any other rules that may come into the trial process. Let's see. And you'll be able to represent yourself if that's what you clearly want. Have you ever represented yourself in any criminal proceedings before?
Well, I'm sure you are quite aware that I have.
No, that's just yes or no. And just play like I haven't had 50,000 defendants in this court.
Wow.
You're going to have to refresh my memory. Go ahead. What have you done? What's your experience in representing yourself?
I start out with, Your Honor, with the fact that I filed motions that the court is not adhering to, and it seems to me that you're depriving me of due process because I don't want this court to preside, you to preside over this case.
Well, when you have good cause, just because you don't want, okay.
Rule
Do you want to interrupt me all day? We can't both speak because when you speak over me, this lady can't take what you're taking down, what you're stating. And it's rude, number one, but it's impossible for her to take what you state. Let me speak, then you'll get an opportunity to speak. Okay. All right. Look, the Constitution of the United States does not state you anywhere that you get the choice to make your to have a judge of your wish before you. And that's, you get a judge who is a lawfully presided judge, and that's what you get. Just because you don't like me to preside over your case, that's not enough to grant your wish. Then I have a motion to quash an indictment here that you have filed, and can you summarize the reason that you filed this?
That was predicated, Your Honor, because it fails to state, I don't have a document, probable cause, information, or anything to go by. And first of all, I never entered any building.
But that's not, that's what we deal with at trial. But the four corners of the indictment, what's wrong?
All four corners, it doesn't meet the element of burglary of a building.
What does it fail to state? Because it states given notice that I fully entered, partially entered,
something to that effect, in which that would probably give me the benefit of defending myself against.
Okay. In summary, this states the elements of the penal code of burglary of a building clearly in this paragraph that on or about October 15th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, with the intent to commit theft, you intentionally and knowingly entered a building or portion of a building not then open to the public without the effective consent of the owner. Those are the elements of burglary of a building. Anything else? What was it missing? What was the element that's missing that's in the penal code that you're saying?
Into the building.
Oh, but it's an allegation, sir. It's not, that's what we do at trial, it alleges, it's what the allegation is. That's why we have a trial, and that's why you get to present evidence, the state presents evidence, and a jury makes the decision. Everybody who pleads not guilty contests what it says. The question is the four corners of the indictment. Does it allege the allegations that are required for the commission of a crime? And it does. That's why we're going to go to trial. So that's denied.
Yeah.
The motion to quash is denied. It does
I'd like a copy of that.
properly fit the elements of the indictment. And you filed it more than once here. There's a motion to quash on December 19th. What's the difference?
I never got an answer. This is why I refiled it.
That's why we're here today. The motion is denied.
This
Let's
is
see.
nothing but
Wanting to advance pro se. What, you're just so rude. Interrupt the court. I told you have a chance to be heard, sir. You can't help yourself. How many times we learned that in second grade. Not that our teachers would scold us. Don't be rude to others and don't speak over others. You're going to get a chance to speak. Okay. Wanting to advance pro se, that's granted. You're going to get that. That's all. Now that's all I have here. The motion to quash, hold on. The motion to quash is denied. The motion to proceed pro se is granted. That's another pro se. That's granted. Motion to dismiss counsel. That's granted. Anytime you want to change your mind on that, though, I would urge you, let me know so a competent attorney can be appointed to represent you. Does he file something? I'm sure he's not able to pay, and Mr. Osborne is deemed a transient. Is there something in here that shows he's indigent, though, so that we can appoint somebody? There is an affidavit of indigence that was never signed by you. That needs to be filled out.
Yes, sir.
So that if you, it looks like the magistrate, it looks like Judge DeRuin
Yes, sir.
went over it, but you wouldn't sign it or fill it out.
No, I filed to proceed pro se, and I filed for an examining trial. I requested one immediately.
Okay, but here's the deal. Anytime you want to change your mind, which is the right you have under the Constitution to have a lawyer represent you, what would happen to happen? We'd have to stop everything we're doing and get you to fill out an indigent form. If you fill out an indigent form now, it's in there ready to go in the event you change your mind.
All right.
But it's your call if you don't want to do that, but it stalls everything, I would urge you to do it just to have it as a safety. Okay, sir?
But one thing, did you get the motion for an investigator? I sent that as well.
I'm looking at all of this. And okay, motion to dismiss. There's no investigator in that. Then pro se motion. Motion to quash the indictment. Another motion to quash the indictment. It says wanting to advance pro se. I'm treating that as a motion for pro se, and I don't have it. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I've got here. And then here is there's something about this says motion to recusal, and then it refers to Judge DeRuin, though. Establish the wanting for examining trial. Is that right? Is that
Yes,
what you-
sir.
okay. You don't get an examining trial if you have been indicted. If the grand jury indicts, which they've indicted in November, an examining trial is no longer an option. Says you are illegally confined in the jail. Information indictment, that's paramount. Said John seems to stop. What is that? Step aside, I think is which is some paramount importance. The leading force of this matter is predicated on facts and a profound complaint. Further complaints presented before Mr. Stevens made Stevens' failure to not accept the plea agreement in the state felony in the past. From what has happened. First, what may happen. Articulates the presiding judge. The decision years back in a state jail case. I guess it was in this forgery case. Is that right?
Recusal. Yeah, that,
Yeah, okay. Okay. Which I really can't read your
I know.
where premise is considered prevalent that said judge step aside in the best interest of justice. And I don't understand your writing because it's hard to write in there, but I don't understand what you are articulating that would cause this court to step aside. It seems to state you just don't prefer me, and that's not enough, under law. But if you want to write some more, go ahead. But at this time, I don't find that the four corners of your pro se motion sets forth valid reasons for this court to step aside.
I want to dumb her down.
So we're going
I want to fight
continue to move forward, and you want to continue to represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I would like
and you want to go to trial.
right. I would like copies of all that's been denied as well. And a copy of my indictment, copy of the pause, and information if at all possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If Reggie, can you make just a copy? As possible, at any time you want to change your mind, let me know immediately so we can get somebody in here. Okay. Yes, sir. All right, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. What else?
There shall not be any cutting of trees. Don't cut any trees. I'll pass the order.
You know what? I sure love those muffin tops. Oh, good Lord. That was a mess. That's all Alyssa's fault. That's all Alyssa's fault. I got the alert. I thought, why not? Let's see this goofy guy. I like Judge Stevens. I can't read your writing, and I don't know what you're trying to articulate. I get the general sense you don't like me. That's insufficient. Denied. Good times. Thanks for coming out.